Hello everyone. We are going to start with Standard 3 Mathematics lesson number 1. So we are just going to go to the page where it starts the first lesson, and there we go. So I'm just going to expand this, and now it is more visible. This is Introduction to the Geometrical Figures, Part 1. In the first part, we can see this is revision, which is quadrilateral, triangle, circles. So the base purpose here is to help you understand what type of shapes these are. If we look at the first section, which is quadrilateral, it consists of the shapes which looks alike, however they do differ into their proportions and the number of in the length of the lines which have been part of these diagrams. If we look at the very first one, it has 4 lines, but we do observe that uh, it is not exactly like a square. But if we look at the second one, it looks like a perfect square. If we look at the third one, it is a perfect rectangular. Let's go to the further section, triangles. If we look at the name triangles, the word tri itself indicates that it has 3 lines. Here we look at the first shape and it clearly has 3 lines and 3 angles, hence we call it a triangle. And same goes along with the other shapes, and even they are triangles. We can now look at the third section, which says circles, and we can see there are 3 circles here. Now look at the pictures below, identify the geometrical figures, draw it and write its name. So we are going to do this activity. So here we are. Now let's look at this carom board. What kind of shape is it? It has 4 lines, which clearly indicates that it is a square. So we are just going to draw a square in this box. It is a square, and we are going to write down its name in the below box. So it's a square. Now let's look at the further diagram. We can see this is a sandwich made into 2 parts. However, we can see these 2 are in triangle. So we are going to draw a triangle in the below box. So here we draw a triangle, and we are going further to write down what shape it is. So we are going to write down triangle. Let's look further at this calculator, or rather it looks like a phone, but you're right, it is rectangle. So we are just going to make a rectangle into this box. So this is a rectangle. Here we type the name of this shape. So it is a rectangle. Now let's look at the next shape, which is a Bengal, and it is a circle. So we are going to take a circle, draw a circle in this box, and then we can write down what it is, and we write it's a circle. It is a simple activity that everyone can do at home. I'm going to switch back to the book again, and I'm here. So what we did just now is this, and we are switching back to the book, and we are now going to scroll down So there is another activity right below this. I'm going to read that out for you. It is identify triangles, circles, and quadrilateral in the picture above. Color triangles red, the quadrilateral blue, and circles yellow. This is quite interesting activity that really going to fascinate you because it involves painting. You're going to use colors for making these changes. So I'm quickly going to open this activity for you. Let's grab this activity. So there we go. We have this activity here. So now we are just going to paint this. Now let's remember they have already clearly indicated that triangles should be red. So we are going to start finding all the triangles and color them in red. So we select red color, and now let us search for all the triangles. So let's start from this door, and we can see these triangles here, and we are going to put colors. So all triangles should be marked red. Now where else do we see triangles? You're right. So here is another triangle. We put red color into it. We also see another triangle here, so we are going to put more red color. That's right. We also see rangoli, and we see there are triangles, so we are going to put colors in each triangle. So let's have a look. Are there any other triangles that needs to be colored? No. So let's read the next. The quadrilaterals should be blue. So we are now going to select the color blue, and now we are going to put blue in all the rectangles and quadrilaterals. So there we go. So here we put blue. So all the rectangles should contain blue. Now there we see another rectangle. There are two more. There is one. Within this rangoli we see one more rectangle. We see one more here. Now we also observe there are rectangles here, so they're quite minute, but we are going to put some color. So we add here. And this is a quadrilateral, so we are going to add some blue color here as well. Now what is left? That's right, the circles, which needs to be yellow. So let us select the yellow color. We have selected yellow, and we are going to put yellow in all the circles. So there are yellow. So there we go. We mark yellow. We also see, oh, and then we realize there is this box which was supposed to be blue, but we'll do it at the end. So we are just going to add yellow color into all the circles. It has started looking more beautiful than it was before. So we are going to put blue color into the box that was remaining, which is here. So yes, Now it looks perfect, and this is the correct answer to the question that we are doing. We are now going to move to the further page. Now this talks about edges and corners. Everything that we have in today's world has some sort of edges, number of edges and corners. So look at the piece of burfi. It is quadrilateral. So you can see the piece of burfi in the plate beside. A quadrilateral has four edges and four corners. So the shape that we call quadrilateral always has four edges and four corners. Observe the surface of a table. How many edges does a surface have? The answer is 4. How many corners does a surface have? So let us count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the shape of the surface of the table? So this is the surface that we are talking about. It's a rectangle. So let's go further and read. Rectangle. Take a rectangular sheet of paper as shown below. So you have to take a piece of paper which is rectangle in its shape. How many edges and how many corners does a rectangle have? Let us count. So we are going to first count with the edges. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let us count the corners now. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now let us fold the paper in the middle to bring the opposite edges together. So here you can see that they have folded the paper. So what do we see after folding the paper? The longer side falls exactly on the opposite side, and otherwise it also goes like the shorter side would go with the other shorter side. The longer side falls exactly on the opposite side, the shorter side falls exactly on the side opposite to. The opposite sides of a rectangle are equal in length. Now the next shape is square. Take a look at a handkerchief. So you can quickly grab a handkerchief that you may have in the house and you can have a look at the handkerchief. It is a square. All the edges of the handkerchief are same in the size and it has four corners. So the characteristic of a square is that it would have four edges and four corners. How many edges and corners does a square have? Fold the handkerchief in the middle from top to bottom as well as from the side to see if opposite sides are of the equal length. Now we shall fold the handkerchief as shown alongside to find out if each corner falls exactly on the opposite. The corners match and so do the edges that make them. Now fold the handkerchief over again. All the edges match in length. All the edges of a square are of equal length. Note that we got a triangle when we folded the handkerchief. So triangle. How many edges does a triangle have and how many corners? Find the shape in your surroundings. So we can see there are many things which are triangular. You can look around your house and you can see many things which are triangular. So you can take your parents' help to understand what all things are in triangular shape in your house. So you can see here is how a triangular would look like, and it has three edges, 1, 2 and 3, and it has three corners. So you can use sticks to make the following shape, that is quadrilateral, rectangle, square, and triangle. Now following there is an activity. So it says complete the table below. We are going to do this activity. So let's pull the activity. So it says we have to mention the name of the figure, the number of edges, and number of corners. So first we are going to write the name of the figure, and there we go. We are going to write this is a quadrilateral. So this is a quadrilateral, and now here we are going to mention the number of edges. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we see there are 4 edges. Now let us count the corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 corners. Let's go further to the next shape. What shape is it? What do you see? It's a rectangle. Now let us count the number of edges it has. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to write 4. We move 4 further, and it has 4 corners. Now what do you see here? It is a square. So we are just going to write it is a square, and here we mention the number of corners it has is 4. The next box is asking for the number of corners, so it has 4 corners. Now what shape is this? This is a triangle, so we are going to write triangle. And how many edges does it have? It has 3 edges. And how many corners does it have? So it has 3 corners. Now this next shape that we have is an interesting one, because it's quite obvious and usual that we see around us. So it's circle. And how many edges does circle have? So it's just 1. And does it have any corners? No, it does not have any corners. So we are going to complete with this activity, and we are going to move further into this lesson. So this is how to make a 5-piece tangram. Take a square piece of paper, find the center of the paper by folding it twice. uh, Children can take help of their parents or their elders in the house to do this activity. Also mark the centers of all the 4 edges. Draw lines to join the centers of the sides and the center of the square as shown in the picture. So here we can see number 2 that they have made points and they have made centers. So now make 5 pieces of the square by cutting along the lines. So if you see in the third picture, it has made certain lines, and you have to make those lines, number the each part as shown in the picture, and make pieces of it. Now using the tangram here, answer the following questions. Now let us have a look at these questions. How many triangles are there in tangram? Let us count. We see there's one here, second here, and third here. So we have 3 triangles. Are all triangles alike? They all are triangles, but they are not same in the size. But yes, they all have 3 edges and 3 corners. Can we join 2 of the triangles to make a square? That's a beautiful question. Now to understand this, if we go further, we can see that yes, If we join the triangle number 1 and 4, we can certainly make a square. So you can join triangle number 1 and 4, and yes, you can see that it forms a square. Can we join two of the triangles to make a big triangle? So certainly not. If you can try, you can give it a shot and see if you can join two triangles. Does it make a big triangle? No. How many squares are there in the tangram? How many quadrilateral? We can clearly see that there is only one square, which is number 5, and it is a square. How many quadrilateral? We can see only one quadrilateral, that is number 2. So let's go to the next activity. In the picture below, identify the figures drawn on the dotted paper. Color the triangles in red, squares in blue, and rectangles in green. So we are simply going to pull this, and we are going to do this activity. So let's quickly pick this up. So now we are going to do this activity. Let's read again. It says color the triangles in red. So we are going to select color red, and we are going to put color red into all the triangles. So we also see triangles here, right? And it also says the squares in blue, so we are going to select color blue. Let's put, so it says blue only for the squares. So this is perfectly square. This is a square. This is square here, here, and here, a couple of more. So we are going to put color blue, and it says green, so we're going to select green, and we are going to put them into the rest, which are the rectangles. There we go. So we are done with this activity as well. We are going back to the book. Let us go to the further. Yes, we can see that we are completed the first lesson. So what did we learn in today's lesson? We learned that anything that has four edges equal in size and four corners is known as a square. Something that looks alike a square but has two longer lines and two shorter lines, meaning two shorter edges and two longer edges, is a rectangle. Something which has four lines but they are not same, in that case it's a quadrilateral. Something that we see has three edges and three corners is a triangle. So this was the lesson 1. In next session we'll be doing the next chapter, the next lesson in maths. So kindly request you all to please subscribe to the channel if you did like it, or if you have any suggestions, what kind of content would you expect, please do let us know so we can improve and we can bring it on for you, and then further we can decide as to how to go further with the study of mathematics. So would like to hear more feedback from you. If you could please subscribe and give us comments, would be really great. So really thank you so much for joining us today, and wish you a good time ahead. Thank you.